look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. You gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like 3 million. There's watches that are 3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts.
Joe Rogan didn't keep quiet about his doubts when Floyd Mayweather's real estate claims came up. He openly questioned it, leaning in and saying, "Wait a second, that math just doesn't add up."
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds, like $5 million. And so you hate him.
Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets, and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from an individual, from a billionaire that had a 9% interest on the loan.
Rogan challenged the entire story surrounding Floyd, questioning claims that he owns dozens of buildings worth tens of millions. He emphasized that making flashy statements is very different from actually having verified assets.
That money to the IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell those.
That's where things start to get interesting. Floyd built his entire Money Mayweather persona around the image of endless wealth, piles of cash, luxury watches, and an untouchable financial empire. However, reports circulating in the business world suggest the reality may be more complex.
Floyd Mayweather is made, and because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is or has been a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And another sign of him maybe in financial trouble is, as of February 2026, Floyd Mayweather has initiated a massive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former executive Steven Espinoza. So he's trying to get some bread right now.
The estimate is that he made over $1.2 billion over the course of his career in just earnings from fight.
According to Business Insider, 2 of Floyd Mayweather's commercial properties have already faced foreclosure. There were also reports that his Las Vegas strip club building was at risk of being seized due to unpaid property taxes. On top of that, lawsuits have surfaced alleging unpaid bills for luxury watches and jewelry, claims Floyd has denied. Altogether, the narrative shifts from flashy bragging to serious financial scrutiny.
Things that they said in this article were insane. That Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan.
The outlet also reported that 2 Trump Las Vegas condos were briefly seized over unpaid taxes before being returned after payment. It further claimed that a massive $54 million loan was backed by his homes, private jet, and business assets as collateral. Whether it's exaggeration or misunderstanding, the gap between the flashy money image and these reports has clearly fueled debate. Joe Rogan's skepticism had already started to shake the narrative around Floyd Mayweather's financial empire. But then Chael Sonnen jumps into the conversation with zero subtlety, essentially questioning why anyone is surprised at all by the "Is Floyd broke?" headlines.
What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing town, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke.
He flips the question back on the audience, saying, if you wake up and go to work every week because you need money, why would it be strange for a boxer to keep fighting for the same reason? It comes off as classic Chael logic, part blunt honesty, part trolling. But he doesn't stop there. Chael Sonnen goes on to break down the mythology around boxing paydays, arguing that those billion-dollar earnings figures and massive pay-per-view numbers often come from promotional hype rather than verified financial records. He even points out that no one directly handling the pay-per-view sales has publicly confirmed those extreme figures, a claim that really challenges years of boxing hype narratives.
He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
At the same time, Chael Sonnen isn't just taking shots at Floyd Mayweather, he's criticizing the entire way sports finances are presented. He then shifts to the chaos around contracts, explaining that announcing multiple fights while a major matchup is being discussed would frustrate any promoter, since timing and exclusivity are crucial in the fight business. That's where the irony really stands out. She'll point out Floyd accusing Showtime of questionable business practices, adding another layer of tension to the situation.
And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good, and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And, yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic.
Meanwhile, critics accuse Floyd Mayweather's own promotion of creating similar confusion during the Logan Paul fight, turning the whole situation into a hall of mirrors where everyone sees someone else as the villain. Yet here's the contradiction Chael Sonnen unintentionally brings out. People may question Floyd's finances, doubt the reported paydays, argue over contracts, or dismiss the exhibitions. But the moment Mayweather's name shows up on a fight poster, the entire combat sports world still stops and pays attention.
Mayweather owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no, he doesn't. Will Logan ever get the money? I think Floyd's broke. Floyd does not owe Logan $1.3 million. Floyd's promotion owes Logan $1.3 million. And no, of course he's not going to get it. That promotion's already shut down. Allegedly, by the way.
Chael Sonnen had already poured fuel on the Floyd might be broke conversation. But then Jason Whitlock and his panel stepped in, and suddenly it felt less like fight analysis and more like a group of financial detectives at work. I'm sitting there thinking, we really went from boxing talk to forensic accounting with gloves on. Whitlock kicks things off by backing the theory from Shannon Sharpe that Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement is all about chasing one more massive payday. And the moment names like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and Terence Crawford get thrown into the mix, the business angle becomes obvious. Shannon points out those are the kinds of fights that could generate the level of money Floyd would be after. It's basically the celebrity super fight menu. Then Whitlock flips it with a Rocky-style question, why do you fight? And just like that, the whole discussion turns unexpectedly philosophical in the most entertaining way.
Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco suggested on their podcast that Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back, unretiring.
He is.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip here of Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
There are only 3 fights that Floyd can have that can command and get the kind of money he's looking to recoup for money that may have been lost, or money that may have been stolen, or money he may have spent, to date. For one, a rematch with Canelo. That's one fight.
Canelo too big.
Listen to me, Uncle. We talk about making that money. He ain't gonna have no choice.
Yeah, but Floyd Mayweather built his entire brand on the idea that money equals success, even reinventing himself from pretty boy to money. And as Jason Whitlock points out, there's a brutal irony in that. When your image is built on wealth, even a hint of financial trouble turns into a media storm. Then Dre brings a more grounded perspective, explaining that the real issue isn't how much Floyd earned. It's everything we don't see: liquidity, assets, liabilities, taxes, and lifestyle. In other words, the financial iceberg beneath the flashy social media image. Meanwhile, the panel mixes in jokes about gamblers going broke, IRS troubles, and extravagant spending, making Floyd's career feel less like a simple success story and more like a complicated puzzle. Yet here's the funny part. While some question the idea of a nearly 50-year-old stepping back into the ring, others quietly admit what every fight fan knows deep down. If Mayweather announces a fight with names like Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, or Manny Pacquiao again, all the people debating it now will still be watching the moment the bell rings.
$1 billion and he's 47 years old and he's completely broke. He's won the prize. This is, of all the idiots that we've seen out there, celebrities, actors, entertainers that have lost a lot of money, this guy would take the cake. To blow a bill before he even hits 50 is unimaginable. It actually is sad. It's a cautionary tale. We have seen it time and time again. But who actually wants to watch this guy fight? Like, people that love him. If he comes out and if he loses and looks terrible and gets destroyed, well, look, if you love him or hate him, you can say, well, he's nearly 50 years old. This doesn't prove it.
Jason Whitlock and his panel had already turned Floyd Mayweather's comeback story into a kind of financial courtroom drama. But when Andre Ward steps into the conversation, the tone shifts instantly, from hot take speculation to a fighter's perspective. And that contrast really stands out. Ward starts by emphasizing his respect for Floyd's work ethic, a point that often gets overlooked when people focus only on the flash. He explains that the glitz, the cars, the jets, the lifestyle was all part of the Mayweather brand. But underneath, it was always a disciplined gym rat who never stopped grinding. When Ward admits he's conflicted about the comeback, it feels genuine. He's not attacking Floyd like the rumor mill. Instead, he's pointing to something deeper. For fighters, boxing isn't just a job. It becomes part of their identity. As Ward describes it, the adrenaline, the spotlight, and those massive fight night paychecks create a feeling that ordinary life just can't replace.
Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he could.
That's the kind of perspective only a former champion like Andre Ward can bring. Then he shifts to the potential rematch with Manny Pacquiao, and the analysis takes on a new layer. Ward highlights something interesting. When fighters get older, their style often changes. With less foot speed, they rely more on exchanges, which can actually lead to more action. That idea alone challenges the common assumption that a rematch like this would automatically be boring. But the real concern Ward keeps coming back to is the danger that comes with age. A fighter's mind still believes it's the same, while the body quietly says otherwise. That single point explains so many of boxing's past tragedies. Even so, Ward admits he'd rather see both legends enjoying retirement somewhere peaceful. Yet curiosity always wins. When two icons with unfinished history step back into the ring, the entire fight world ends up watching, whether we intend to or not.
Gonna watch a fighter, he'll say he don't watch him, but he'll watch any potential opponent over and over and over, and he has to process, can he do anything with me? How does my skill set line up with his? Can I beat him? The problem with being 49 years of age is sometimes your brain can see things and tell you things that your body's not in agreement with. That's the problem with age. Your brain is still saying, I'm him. Your brain is still saying, man, I'm Money Mayweather. Man, these youngsters can't deal with me. But your body is saying, brother, we can't do it like that.
When you step back and look at the whole situation, it feels like multiple realities colliding at once. Joe Rogan is questioning the financial empire narrative. Shail Sonnen is tearing apart the mythology of boxing paydays. Jason Whitlock and his panel are breaking down the business and lifestyle side. And then Andre Ward steps in with the fighter's perspective, reminding everyone that boxing becomes part of your DNA in a way money alone can't replace. Interview One side argues that Floyd Mayweather's comeback is all about chasing another massive payday. Another side sees the financial rumors as exaggerated noise. Meanwhile, Ward's view adds a deeper layer, that sometimes fighters return because the spotlight, the competition, and the adrenaline are things ordinary life just can't replicate. That's the real tension at the center of it all. Legacy versus longevity, business versus passion. And whether Floyd is chasing money, history, or simply that feeling of being Money Mayweather again, the bigger picture is clear. The fact that everyone is debating, analyzing, and arguing over every angle of his comeback only proves his influence. That's the gravitational pull of a legend. The sport keeps orbiting around them, no matter how many years pass.
That's the struggle, and that's the danger of coming back at this age. So part of me wants to see these guys continue to make money. Part of me wants to see these guys, how do they do it at this age? Man, show me something. Show me how your mind can overtake the deficiencies you may have in your body at your age. But the deeper part of me, man, I want to see Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao on a beach somewhere, living off the fruits of their labor, helping the game however they see fit to help the game, and just watching the next generations do what they do. But hey, we got to fight September 19th.
Now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Floyd Mayweather's return is about money, passion for the sport, or unfinished business with Manny Pacquiao? Drop your opinion in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Update Daily. See you in the next one.